Have you watched the last episode of Attack on Titan? No. It's out? I didn't know that. It's probably gonna be only on Crunchyroll and I have to pay and I don't want to do that. Crunchyroll, yeah, it may have a lot of really good anime series and a lot of exclusives, but the interface is fucked up. It's full of errors. You're watching and you get an ad like 2 or 3 times throughout the video, and it's the same ad, the same 1 minute long ad or 1 minute and a half ad. And if you try to skip it or try to fast forward it, it fucks out. You gotta it stays on buffering, it starts buffering, you gotta exit. And that's pretty annoying, Crunchyroll. It's like they are using this really nasty and dirty way to make you pay. Well, I'm not gonna pay. I am not gonna pay, Crunchyroll. So no, I haven't watched the latest episode of Attack on Titan. Any tips for starting small-time YouTubers? I do not recommend starting a YouTube channel anymore nowadays. Go to Twitch. Twitch is your best option. I don't know, maybe TikTok or Instagram. I don't know anything about those websites. All I know is that you do short videos and that's it. But I do not recommend being a YouTuber nowadays. It's very political, very unfair. Unless you want to be politically correct and behave and be positive and all colors and rainbows and shit, And even that, you're still gonna get fucked. Thanks, Inane Dreams. Did you ever play the Crisis Core remake? Nope, I played the original on the PSP, not the remake. You have been coming to a reckoning with your nostalgia. You must be younger than me. If you are nostalgic about Crisis Core, which came out in 2008 or 9, you must be pretty young. Crisis Core is a good game. It's a good action RPG with great music. The music is the best thing about that game. But I always thought that the story was kind of like it's just fan service, for Final Fantasy VII fans. And for those who want to know exactly in detail what happened before it, and with Zack as the main character, I always thought Zack was like a meh character. Cloud was more interesting to me. And what I'm trying to say is that I am a Final Fantasy VII fanboy. Okay, I am, and you guys know that, but I didn't need a prequel with Zack as the main character, right? And the other characters like Sephiroth is a great antagonist, but I never really wanted to see him as a party member. I mean, he's kind of an asshole. And then there's Genesis, who I can't stand. I hate that fucking character. And that game just has a Tetsuya Nomura written all over its face. To me, that's a Tetsuya Nomura game, I don't like that guy, his style and shit, so no, I was never really interested in that game. I played it for 2 hours one day, and I was like, it's just not for me. Good combat, though I didn't like the roulette thing that appears up there, that's kind of like random. I was like, what's the point of that? I didn't like that mechanic. But the action was cool, was solid, just wasn't good enough for me to finish it, to stay interested, and much less to buy the remake or the remaster. It's one of those. The Crisis Core remaster remake was kind of like, it's one of those where like Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Nier Replicant, you don't know if it's a remake or a remaster or something in the middle. I think it's something in between. They remade certain things and then they remastered others. It's a hybrid. Do you plan on picking up Mario Wonder? No, I haven't picked up a Mario game in I had the new Super Mario Bros. Game on the Wii with a red case, and I sold it because it was part of my business back then when I was a reseller, and I should have kept it, and I kind of regret it because that's a wonderful game. I really liked it, but that was the last time that I got a Mario game on my hands. I like Mario, and I'd love to get into some more Mario games in the future, but the price just never go down, never seem to come down. Never seem to go down. And I don't know. It's like I always underestimate Mario games. I keep saying to myself, oh, I'll get it later. It's never gonna go up in price. And they really do, but they also never go down in price, right? So, I I'm that guy with Mario games, pretty undecisive. And Mario Wonder, I don't know, I'm not gonna get it, I'm just gonna wait till it's like $30, which means never. Will you play Little Goody Two Shoes? I don't know anything about that game. I think someone brought it up last stream, somebody asked about it, and I don't know anything about it. It's an upcoming game, right? Some kind of upcoming RPG? Like, okay, now I gotta know. In every Q&A, you guys always bring up one game that I gotta check out on Google. Little Goody Two Shoes. Okay, so what's this? It's an adventure game by Astral Shift Pro and published by Square Enix. You play as Little Goody Two Shoes, a phantasmagorical horror narrative adventure where all of your decisions matter. Let me check out some images. So is this some kind of indie game just published by Square Enix, or is it just like, oh... It looks to be some kind of visual novel-ish, but here's a screenshot of the combat. Or is like an action RPG? Cute and creepy. You play as Elise, a girl that looks like Alice in Wonderland, but with a red dress. Okay, it looks interesting, but not that interesting. Let's leave it at that. So maybe. Erick looking to kick. It's a Twitch competitor and pays more than Twitch. And how many people are gonna go over there to watch me? For starters, there's barely anyone watching me on Twitch. I'm streaming like 5 days a week. I streamed yesterday and the day before and the day before. Fuck, I've been streaming almost all week on Twitch, and there's always like 5 people there watching the stream. A maximum of 10, and that's it. So, and that's Twitch. And I've been promoting my Twitch channel every Sunday on my Q&As, and there's a link on every single one of my videos. No one gives a shit, so I don't think anybody's gonna give a shit about me being on Kick or Rumble or those other websites. But thanks for the suggestion, man. Erick, what's your second favorite genre of video games? That will be fighting games. Though environmental puzzles in 2D platformings, that's also becoming one of my favorites too. Last night, speaking about Twitch, I streamed a game called Tandem. I forget the subtitle. Tandem. And it's an environmental puzzle that's been out for like 2 years. And it plays between 2D. You control 2 characters and you gotta switch constantly between them. And one character is the 2D part and the other one is the 3D part. And they complement each other to help each other to make progress, right? It's really good and it's pretty Halloween-esque, Tim Burton-like, and I really liked it. I only played the demo, but I'm planning on getting it. But it was $15, digital only, and I was like, nah. $10 or GTFO. Remakester? Yeah, Crisis Core is pretty much that, a remakester. Like, you can't... We don't know if it's a remake or a remaster or both, or... Like I said, they remade some things and they remastered some things. But let's be honest, I don't know much about Crisis Core, but Nier Replicant and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, most of it was remastered. There are very few things on those games that were remade from scratch. But let's say like 80% of the game was just remastered, right? So they aren't exactly remakes. They're more remasters than anything. But who am I to know, right? Who am I to say that? What the fuck do I know? Final Fantasy VII. Between Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII, which one do you think was better in terms of story? I think Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VII's story was revolutionary and it was kind of psychological and a little bit darker than usual and more mature. And I like it because of that. I praise it because of that. But I think the Final Fantasy VI story is a little bit more engaging because you get to see it from different points of view. Even though some of the characters, if not most of them, start becoming kind of irrelevant the more you advance. You know, you get to the end of the game and you're like, oh, okay, so what about this character? What about this other character? You know, we didn't get a lot of development for this and this and this and this and that character, right? So, but the story, let me put it this way, in terms of characters and their development, Final Fantasy VII is the better game, but in terms of storytelling, I think it was more interesting in Final Fantasy VI. It was also more mature too, mature and adult, like, you know, and more original. So they're both up there, you know, it's a pretty good tie. It's hard to decide which one is truly the best in terms of story. Which JRPG... Wow, I missed a lot of questions, sorry guys. Which JRPG do you think has the best story? Xenogears. Have you beat Kingdoms of Amalur? Yes, on the original PlayStation 3, and I loved it. What about Super Mario RPG Remastered? No, that's a full remake. They did the game from scratch. They remade everything. That's a remake. Did you play Eternights? No. It looks okay, you know, I'm interested. I'm probably gonna get the game when it's like $10 or $20 max, you know, and that's it. But I don't have a lot of interest on it. Erick, what game on the PS5 exclusive you plan to play next? Exclusive? Holy shit, I don't know, man. I can't think of a single exclusive game on the PS5 that I want to play next. All of the ones that I want to play next are on other consoles, or they're on PS5 too, but they're available on other consoles. They aren't exclusive, so I don't know, man. Have you tried Honkai Star Rail? No, I keep getting emails every now and then, like at least once a month, from the companies trying to make me promote their game, and I'm just not for me, man. I'm not really into MMORPGs or free-to-play games. That's a free-to-play game, and I know it's really good. I've heard really good things about it, but I'm not interested in free-to-play games. What's your opinion about the PlayStation Portal console? Oh, is that like the upcoming portable system? I don't know much about it. In fact, I barely know anything about it. All I know is that there were some rumors that PlayStation is working on a new portable system. So I don't have an opinion yet. Have you heard of Dead End Zion and Dead End Request 3 announcement? Yeah, someone brought it up last week, and I also know about the Dot Hack game that CyberConnect 2 has been working on this year. People are saying that we will probably get this new Dot Hack game on March next year. So, wow, I hope it's true, and I'm very excited because I'm a big Dot Hack fan. However, the Dead End Zion and Dead End Request 3, hopefully I'm just as excited. We discussed this in the last Q&A, but yeah, I mean, I became a fan of Dead End Request 1 and 2 this year, even though I've known the games for like 3 years and so. I got Dead End Request 2 about 3 years ago as a gift, and I only played it for like 2 hours and never went back to it until this year, when I realized it was kind of necessary to play it to understand the second one. Right, it isn't indispensable, but you kind of, yeah, you need to play the first one to understand the second one fully. And I did that, and I played both games almost in a row, and I fell in love with the series, so now I'm a big fan, so of course I'm very interested. I hope we get that game because it's been 3 years. But yeah, it's been 3 years since that game, so about fucking time, Idea Factory, Compile Hard. We need a third game in the series, thank you very much. I will definitely support that third entry. I just hope it isn't politicized. Idea Factory games are slowly starting to get kind of politicized too, and with forced inclusion and shit, and I'm like, okay, let's hope that doesn't happen. Maybe you should do more just chatting streams on Twitch, talking about games and other topics. I already do that here in the Q&As with you guys, so I don't see the point in doing the same on Twitch. At least not now. Any plans to get an arcade stick controller soon? Nope. Erick, do you like black metal? Not really. You know, black metal is a great genre, and I do like some songs from some bands. But the problem with black metal is that I'm one of those guys that think that every song sounds the same. Like, it's just a similar riff, very similar riffs, very similar solos, and the you know? So it gets old after a while for me personally. I like my songs to be a little bit more diverse. Like, one of my favorite metal bands of all time is Fear Factory and The Gathering. Well, The Gathering is a band that's never labeled itself as metal because they cover different genres, and every album has been like a different genre, and I like that, I dig that. I also like Devin Townsend, you know, but I'm not really into black metal. Although I don't know what would you call a band called Woods of Desolation. I think that's more like death metal, but there's so many subgenres nowadays that it's hard to differentiate them, right? But I like Woods of Desolation, and I'm not sure if that can be considered as black metal. But there you go. What exactly do you mean by politicized? When I say politicized is that there's something that someone forced the writers to include some kind of political message. Like in this case, it's a lot of liberal stuff. It used to be kind of conservative, right? We used to get some political message on the conservative or right-wing party, even in video games, in movies and shit. And now it's the other way around. We're getting a lot of liberal crap, and it's forced, right? It's fake. It's like hypocritical. It feels like it's just there just for the sake of sending a political message to the world. And I don't like that, I like the purity of someone making the game or their story the way they want to, without a fucking executive saying, oh, you gotta include this character, or you gotta have this type of scene, or your characters need to do this or go through this situation. And you watch it and you're like, I mean, this feels fake as fuck. Like, this character or this scene, it's like, man, I'm not stupid. This is a political message, right? That's what I mean by politicized, and I fucking hate that. What will your thoughts be on a JRPG with a metric fuckton of 80s and 90s heavy metal iconography? What kind of question is that? What? Let me read that again. What? What will your thoughts be on a JRPG with a metric fuckton? What the fuck is a metric fuckton? Of 80s and 90s heavy metal iconography, like sort of Final Fantasy by way of bad. I have no idea what you're asking, man. You mean a JRPG with heavy metal music? What are you trying to ask? Do you wear other colored t-shirts? No, my man, black forever. I used to be a goth in my younger days. That's the one thing that stuck with me. The black, wearing the black color clothes. I don't think I'm goth anymore. I'm just Erick. I'm myself. I got rid of all of those labels, not that they're bad labels. I liked when people noticed that I was a goth and shit like that. But nowadays I'm just Erick. I outgrew that. But out of respect for my philosophy, my ideals, my way of dressing, my own style from back then, I still dress in black. So no, I don't wear any other color clothes. Say no to wokeness. Yeah, exactly. That's politicized. Everything that's like forced inclusion, that's a political message. That's like, hey, you gotta include the black character here, okay, or the Mexican character, or hell, even the white character. Well, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Well, maybe it did back in the day. When they're like, oh, there's a movie about a bunch of black guys. Hey, along came the executive. You gotta include a white character in there. Like, what? No! I don't want to! I want my movie to be about black guys! Go fuck yourself, right? And nowadays it's the exact opposite, right? It's like they're forcing all of these characters, but not only characters, these situations, these scenes, this stuff that you see on movies, especially on movies, not so much in video games, only on AAA games. But yeah, it's like, man, come on, let me do my game however I want. But nowadays it's like, if you don't include these characters or these situations, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're a sexist, you're whatever, you're a Nazi, when they are the fucking Nazis nowadays. And it's horrible, right? And it only creates this huge hatred between people, this strong division between people and between gamers, speaking about video games. And it's sad. It's sad that they're forcing these political messages on their games, and they only divide people. I guess it's a good idea for them because, their games get more controversial and more money, I guess, more publicity, I don't know. But it's sad, man. I mean, come on. We don't need that anymore. And so it's a lot of this woke stuff is very liberal, very left-wing. But trust me when I say this, 20 years ago, I was complaining about the same thing about the right-wing parties, sending all of those messages. like the Christian messages or the Catholic messages. He was like, man, don't force your religion on me, please, please. And nothing's changed. It just went from one side to the other. Previously it was the right wing, now it's the left wing. So it's just ridiculous, right? And I hate that. What's your opinion about emo people? I have no opinion. I mean, if you like that kind of shit, I mean, good for you, right? I don't care when people are with different labels, you know, like I was saying I was a goth, you know, or if you're a rapper or a hipster or a metalhead or whatever, a normie or a gamer or whatever you are, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. You can be whatever you want. Just don't force that on people. That's what I hate. Like, oh my god, I'm a metalhead and every single human being on the planet should be a metalhead, otherwise go fuck yourself and I'm gonna treat you like shit. No, man. If you don't want to hang out with non-metalheads, just don't hang out with them. But I'm setting a poor example because metalheads are pretty open-minded people, and it's rare to see someone, a metalhead, making somebody else feel inferior. It's usually normal people who listen to the crappiest music and get on with the trends. Normal people are always the ones that are kind of forcing everything on everybody else. Like, oh, you listen to rock music, you're a loser. You know, that kind of people. So, whatever, man. And the same goes for races and genders and colors. I mean, you want to be gay, you're black, you know, good for you, man, good. I don't give a shit. You're still a human being to me. And I will treat you the same as I treat everybody else, as long as you don't force your ideals on me or your politics on me. Enough said. Stay the same, Japan, don't be forced into what. Too late. AAA games from Japan are already politicized. Anyway, that's what ruined Disney. Ooh, yeah. That's the best example right there. Disney is like, holy shit. Oh, man. What a heated conversation. Gonna have to get naked here. Half naked. I've been both, you know. I don't think I ever told my story because, I don't know, I feel like it's gonna take me a long time to explain. But yeah, to cut things short, I've been on both sides of the spectrum, you know. When I was younger, when I was like, I don't know, 16, 17, I was pretty liberal. And then on my 20s, I was pretty conservative, you know. And then eventually I realized being both, being one or the other sucks bananas. Music, man. Xenoblade Chronicles. That's I don't know if you guys missed. You probably did. The top 50 dungeon themes in JRPGs that I just did a couple of days ago. Check it out. It's on my channel and it's live. It's public. It's gonna be public forever. Check it out in case you missed it. Great music. We had a great time during the stream.